Alright, so first off, I want to say thank you for all you with the subs and support to get me to 1K. I know in the grand scheme of YouTube, it's not like a huge amount or anything, but for somebody who tried to get into content creation with doing Lost Ark pretty late in 2023, I think I'm doing alright. So like how a lot of people did their 2024 channel update, I kinda wanted to do a look at my past, present, and future with this. So I'm not going to get too into detail here, but let's have a little parasocial moment. So I went to college for game design and development. When I finished up there, I actually ended up on the publishing side. I spent over 5 years at a AAA publishing. And again, I'm not putting out names, I'm not putting out details. And throughout my life, I've really loved MMOs. It's one of my favorite genres, and I played a lot of them. I started off with World of Warcraft because as a kid, all my friends stopped doing things. Like after school, they were like, hey, we can't do anything. We're busy. And then it turned out they were just all playing WoW all day, every day. I was left out. I eventually got a PC and got WoW and started playing then. There's a lot of games I tried out and just didn't get into, like Lineage 2 back then, Shadowbane. Same thing with the original Guild Wars. I gave that like a few hours and just couldn't get into it. But games I did get into, let's see. Well, I mean, first off, I played pretty much every expansion of WoW besides Cataclysm. But there's Vindictus, Phantasy Star Online, Phantasy Star Online 2, Phantasy Star Universe, Final Fantasy XIV, Rift, Terra, Rusty Hearts, Divine Souls, Dragon Saga. And actually on that topic, I also played a lot of free-to-play Eastern shooters. The main three would have to be, well, kind of four, I guess. Guns 1, Guns 2, Microvolts, and S4 League. So I am telling you all this because I thought it'd be a good idea to let you guys know kind of where I'm coming from. I've been on both sides of the fence, and on top of that, I've played a lot of MMOs and I've seen so many fall due to just poorly managed in the West. When I talk about things like change and how I want games to improve, I'm not thinking about a particular person or group within the game. When I think about things, I think about the game as a whole. I want the game to thrive. I want the game to survive. I don't want the game to bleed out, hemorrhage out players day by day like it has been doing. I want new players to join the game. I want them to enjoy the game. So I hope you understand that I've been looking at this, and I still look at this in a grand scheme of things as opposed to just at a base level. There are a lot of people who make really bad arguments because it's really just on a personal level for them. A good example would be people who don't want things nerfed because they didn't have it nerfed. And that general kind of mindset of just because I did it, other people should do it exactly how I did it. It'd be 2 years later and the entire landscape of the game has changed. Overall, thinking that way is just not good for the health of the game. It's been pretty fun learning how to do content. I'm still very new to this. I don't have really any experience prior to this with video editing or voice recording. As any headphone user here would know, I have a issue of not being that great at balancing background audio for both you headphone users and speakers together at the same time. I'm getting to the point where I think it's actually impossible. How I do content is kind of a little bit of inspiration from Josh Strife Hayes. He did a video about MMO content creation, just kind of saying that, hey, you shouldn't make your videos perfect. You should pump them out because anything that's in a live service area, it's going to change and your videos are going to be outdated sooner or later, and you don't want to get outdated while you're making it. And then something for me personally is I always realize there's things I could have added or things I could have additionally talked about in a lot of my videos after I put them out and talk to people a little bit more about them, which I guess gives me more reason to do a updated video about them sometime in the future again. So moving forward, I don't think my content or anything here is really going to change that much if I'm being honest. Yes, I'm still trying to improve, but overall I would say the basic formula is about to be the same. I'm still aiming for about like a video a week. There are some video ideas that I thought about that was just going to be for Lost Ark, but now that I think about it more, I might make it towards a general gaming kind of thing. We'll see how that goes. And as stated in another video of mine, I was going to play and now have been playing a couple other games. I've been playing a little bit of Pal World and it was fun at the start, and now I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like a little bit too grindy for me for a game like this, even when you do like some modifiers to get increased rates. It's also kind of a strange experience. Like I'm playing with a couple of friends, and you know when you usually play a game with people, you're always, I guess, talking to each other, kind of doing things together. A lot of the time we're just kind of f***ing off in different parts of the world on our own, and voice is just kind of dead empty space. I assume that's just kind of normal for people when they play these crafty type games. But yeah, it's been a pretty unique experience. It's still fun. It's just kind of, I don't know. I'll still definitely keep on playing it. It's just kind of gonna shift back a little bit in priorities. And then Under Night 2 and Tekken both came out the same day. I decided to not worry about Under Night for a little bit because I was a little too cheapo to buy them both, and I really didn't want to relearn both games at the same time anyways. Tekken's been pretty fun though, getting back to the game. I haven't played Tekken 7 in like many years. Like the last time I played it I think was roughly around 2 combo breakers ago. And I really want to add here that playing Tekken has just been really nice. It's given me something I haven't experienced for a long time, and that's playing a game without RNG. You know, Pal World's really chill at the start, and then when you get deeper in, you're throwing a ball at something and it's like a 2% chance. It's like, oh, this is just another hone. Yeah, you can increase your capture rate, but man, you're still playing with RNG, and I'm like, oh man. But yeah, it's actually been really fun playing other games, and there are other games that I will be playing moving forward, or maybe potentially will. So let's talk about a couple MMOs. Starting off with Throne of Liberty. You know, at first this game looked hella whack, but now it looks alright. I'm still really concerned on how they're going to handle monetization. Like, I don't like the idea that you get a debuff on dying. One, that you have to use the cash currency or whatever to get out of it. Like, I just feel like that game is just going to be extreme roaching. Like, people are just going to roach out at any kind of moment. Playing a melee class is suicide kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems really whack, and I don't know if I'll like it. I don't know how they'll handle it in the West, how they'll change it, if they change it at all. I'm willing to give the game a shot, but I'm apprehensive to say the least. The other game being Blue Protocol. Now, I'm going to be honest, this game looks like the definition of mid. Nothing about this game looks special or spectacular. It's something that I might try. And if I'm being honest, the biggest deterrent is the fact that they're going with Zine code as their anti-cheat. One, it's never had a history of working as an anti-cheat, which is pretty much the same thing as pretty much all anti-cheats. Like, easy anti-cheats, piece of shit too. And while not working as anti-cheat, Zine code has been known to just scan your entire computer, or at least everything that you've been used or accessed in the last 72 hours. It will boot up on a random, even when you are not playing game. It will tank your performance. And another thing flying around about it is that it is a very insane keylogger. Anti-cheat in general, it's a shitty situation. It's awful to talk about. But going a step back, I don't really think I see myself making much content for things like Pal World, Under Night, or Tekken. And the reason is because there's a lot of really great resources out there for these already, and I don't feel like I'm putting in enough time for these things to really feel like I'm credible enough for it. If I were to dip my toes into FGC type of content, it would probably be more larger scale ideas, kind of like I would do with Lost Ark right now. Now, TL and Blue Protocol, if I do play those, I'll absolutely make some videos about them, just kind of how I feel about the game and how, if I do plan on moving forward with them or not, that kind of stuff. Which, now talking about other games and stuff like that, I think it's a good time to talk about potentially streaming in the future. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The main reason is financially, I just haven't been able to afford it, because I'm going to need a new PC and a whole other setup upstairs in a more stream suitable environment. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be getting that Raid Shadow Legends sponsor anytime soon, or a free Starforge PC. But I think streaming would have a potential to make Lost Ark a little bit more enjoyable. Currently, when I'm doing Chaos Dungeon on my daily homework stuff, I'm watching something. It may be a stream or movie or something like that. If I stream, I could just be yapping to you guys. We can be having the conversations that I could be having with you guys in the comments and stuff like that in my videos. Because the thing is, it's a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of different conversations going on generally in my comment section, which makes it pretty hard for me to interact with them and not sound like a bot. And this being Lost Ark, and I got to do my homework too, I just don't really do much with the comments these days. So that's why I think it'd be kind of cool to have you guys pop in the chat and we just kind of have those conversations while I'm doing Chaos Dungeon and all this stuff. And then if I were to stream these other games that I said I wouldn't make YouTube content really on, or games that I would be trying out in the future, I could just do on stream. I'd be more than willing to stream games like Tekken, Under Night, Pal World. Games I really don't have intention of making, you know, deep content about, but I still enjoy, because I just like to be informative with my YouTube content, and I feel like if it's not there, I don't want to make a video about it. I want to have a good understanding of things. I want to have a point, and I just want to have logic, reasoning, not sound like a schizo flat earther. So personally, I've been throwing around the idea of opening up memberships or even a Patreon for a little extra support. That would definitely help me in this area of getting towards streaming and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. And for the hell of it, I'm going to just throw in a little mini review here. So I'm willing to bet that a lot of people who watch me are also fans of this Koti guy. And you probably know that he had a little surgery and have that little Arasaka hand go on because he had carpal tunnel. And as somebody who has spent a lot of time playing games like Guns and does a lot of things on Lost Ark every day, I'm like, am I just doing myself here soon? So I started to think a little bit more ergonomically. Turns out I kind of already do, because I have a wrist rest for my keyboard, but I actually have it at a slant, so only the palm of my thumb is actually on it, so my wrist is always at an angle. For my mouse hand, however, I actually just bought a vertical mouse instead. Back at that AAA developer, I memed on people with these shark looking mouses for so long, and now here I am. I'm one of them. So I bought the Logitech one just because it was the only real reputable brand I could find. Like, if you go to Amazon, you look up these gamer ones that have a bunch of buttons, which I would love to have. My computer's probably going to get the clap from installing their software. And as we've already established, I'm cautious and I'm paranoid. Unfortunately, the MX software doesn't use the same one as the Logitech gaming one, so I had to actually install the new software. These 3 buttons are fully programmable. I thought I was just going to use this for everything but rating and then just pull out the gamer mouse for grading stuff, but now I'm just using this all the time. It actually didn't take that long to get used to, and it is pretty damn comfortable. I didn't really want to pull out a camera and just make this like a tech review video on its own, so that's why I'm just throwing in here, because I figured a lot of you Lost Ark players are probably worried about your wrist to some degree too, so just thought I'd share what I'm doing to kind of help take care of that. Because even though you could just be RNG cared and never have any problems like this, I'd rather reduce the risk. So with all that being said, I think it's about time to wrap up. Thank you again for all your support in 2023 and moving forward. I'm hoping 2024 will be even better for me and my channel. Still staying Lost Ark focused for the thinking man, with some other things on the side. And as always, I'm open to suggestions and ideas for content, or just overall things that you don't feel like are being talked about enough.